What's up guys, Christopher Walker here, back again with another Thermo mindset video. This one's going to be principle number 4, which is compensation. It's the idea that a pendulum swings. It's basically hard to escape this pendulum, but when you become more of a master of your mind, you can choose where you want to sit on that swinging spectrum, essentially, and you can plant yourself there. And that is the ultimate goal, because a lot of people are actually just victims to the pendulum and they're completely ignorant of it. They're unaware of it. So I want to make sure that I can obliterate that ignorance in your mind, make sure that you're not ignorant of it anymore, because by becoming aware of it, waking up to this reality of it, it'll improve your life. It's simple as that. So this is also applicable directly to, and I'll use an example here in this video, applicable directly to dieting. There's a very common pendulum swinging on people that pursue diets. So let's get into the video. Now, the first thing to know is that everything has a rhythm. You can't escape this. The pendulum swings and you can't stop it. However, most people are unaware of this, and that's why they get themselves into what we typically call vicious cycles. Now, their ignorance to this reality keeps them enslaved by their own blind mistakes. We all know people who make the same mistakes over and over again. We also probably do some of this behavior ourselves. Dieting is a perfect example of the principle of compensation in action. The binge-purge cycle is painfully common. So common, in fact, that every single person who has dieted in any capacity in the past has probably fallen into this trap, from professional dieters like bodybuilders, athletes, etc., to novices. Nobody can escape the binge-purge cycle if they're unaware of the principle of compensation. And thankfully, I'm going to show you how to leverage this awareness into a whole new world of stability and control in your own life. Now, people go on restrictive diets. They cut out carbs, they cut out fats, they cut out sugars, sweets, calories, etc. Anything that they perceive in their mind as restrictive. They typically can hold these restrictive diets for between 2 weeks to sometimes a couple years. But then what always happens, they binge, they fall off the wagon. By pulling themselves to one side of the spectrum into the zone of extreme restriction, they leave themselves ultimately vulnerable to inevitably become victim to the pendulum. When they can no longer hold the pendulum to one side of the spectrum, it will always swing with equally brutal force to the opposite end of the spectrum. That's why yo-yo dieting is so common. Even in obese individuals, you will see them gain and lose between 50 to 100 pounds over and over again. Bodybuilders will lose 30 to 40 pounds between a bulk and competition, only to gain every single pound back within a month or two of their competition. Fad yo-yo dieters will lose 10 pounds in a week, then gain 15 pounds quickly thereafter, going back and forth over and over again. If you're tired of this kind of behavior, tired of being a victim to the pendulum swing, then I have good news for you. The master of the mind, which you should strive to be, can choose where he or she wants to remain on the spectrum. And through practice, you can stay in that state of balance while achieving your ultimate goals in a fraction of the time. So how do you do this? It's simple. Your awareness and acceptance of this principle of compensation is step number 1. Now, step number 2 is to make a daily practice of stepping into a state of balance. On a diet where your goal is to lose body fat, for example, this means putting yourself and keeping yourself in a moderate caloric deficit, not a large one, and constantly reevaluating your perceived level of restriction, adjusting your psychological needs. You'll know you're winning when inevitably you will reach the place where your momentum is carrying you forward and you feel little to no effort and maximum enjoyment. This is rather easy to achieve. It just requires about 2 to 4 weeks of daily mental work. After that, you'll notice that every single morning you wake up feeling refreshed and leaner than the day before. These results will be reflected in the mirror and on the scale, and psychologically you will feel as though you could do this forever. It's literally going to feel effortless. Now, if this was helpful to you, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Check out the Thermo Mindset playlist on the channel. I'll have all of the principles of the Thermo Mindset there. And if you're interested in reading this book when it comes out, I will send you an email on it. Just go put your email over at thethermodiet.com and I'll add you to the waiting list there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.